right before someone gets it. So maybe maybe we're on our way by presenting the same thing a few times, and probably over time, when they create this new group, that new group will be doing some of the same things, presenting the same information about affordable housing over and over. So, so thank you. I thought it went really well, and I know we're going to talk about it. But the very first thing we're going to do is catch up on all of our minutes. And so if you were able to read them, great. And I had looked at some last night, and so I saw one with Dave Anderson, and I realized we weren't in the right year, but Heather corrected that and sent out the new year. Were some of you able to look at the April 8th minutes enough so that we can pass them? And if so, do we have a motion to pass
Motion to approve.
the April 8th, 22 minutes?
Right.
Second?
I'll second.
Excellent. Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The minutes pass. And I realize, I guess Chad will send these minutes out, and maybe they won't be approved. They'll just,
Yes, they'll just get filed. Town
Okay.
clerk's office.
Okay, moving on to the next ones, I believe April 29th. Is that correct? Did I just, yes. So did anyone want to make a motion? You know what, I'll move to pass those minutes as they are.
Second.
Thank you, Peter. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, the April 29th minutes pass. May 13th, we made one quick correction, which was a date change. There was a May 8th or April 8th change date in there, but that's changed. So I'll move to pass the May 13th minutes with that one April change where the date is corrected. Looks like Peter's about to second. You gonna second it?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, minutes pass. Wonderful. So I think the next item was just to talk about the presentation, and I welcome anybody's comments.
I think it went well. I think we got a similar presentation from the last time, and everybody got a good sense of our current situation, and statistics, as well as the direction where we're looking to move forward. I think we had some good questions asked from people in the room, as well as a couple comments via Zoom. I did receive, in the interest of time, I had some people email me some general questions also. My takeaway was that the educational portion moving forward will be very helpful for people, because most of the questions that I heard were understanding what area and median income is, rentals versus sale units, and just general questions like that. I didn't receive a lot of feedback as far as comments on our goals, nothing negative. So all in all, I thought it went very well.
So I was there for the public hearing. I was not there for the presentation to the Board of Selectmen. Did the board have any questions or comments during their meeting? When it was approved?
Oh, you mean no. At the time, and Al, you could probably speak to that, but there wasn't much discussion aside from report. At the 7:15 meeting you're talking about, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Aaron?
Yeah. Okay, great.
Aaron, I'll try to respond to your question. I don't think there were many questions from the selectmen because of the thoroughness of the report. My compliments to the committee and to John and Rachel as well. It was a report, I think, above and beyond what people were expecting in terms of its thoroughness and in terms of its specificity about where do we go from here. I think the selectmen collectively realized that it is now up to us to catalyze the implementation recommendations and to move this initiative forward. So I think on balance, this committee has advanced this initiative and performed an exercise which I really think sets this community up to move forward. I think on behalf of all of the people in the town of Madison, I think the selectmen want to express their appreciation and thanks to this committee for really having gotten this very heavy stone rolling forward. And I think that's where we are at this point. And so I would expect the selectmen to, at an upcoming meeting, revisit, I think it was called the implementation schedule or the next step schedule, and start ticking off the boxes. The first one of which is to establish a permanent committee.
Mhm. When do you think that's going to be established, Al, and as well as the charge being drafted?
Well, I would hope during the month of June. Aaron, I don't always control the agenda. But there are a number of the selectmen have just cleared a number of things off their agenda, so I think it's time to take this up.
Yeah.
And I can't speak for the Planning and Zoning Commission. Perhaps Peter might have some insight as to just when and how they will take up some of the recommendations.
And does the committee?
Oh,
Sorry,
just
go
to say,
ahead,
on
Peter.
planning and zoning, since I've stepped down, I don't have a sense for it, Al.
Mhm.
Does the committee get chosen in the same manner, Al? So it'd be like 2 selectmen and select people? And then also just wondering if there'd be an opportunity for someone who's like served on this committee to be part of that selection process. Like
Yeah,
I'm
Aaron,
volunteering Sarah, but I don't know if she wants
yeah,
to.
since the selectmen haven't spoken about it at all, I'm hesitant to give a very specific answer, but I wouldn't be surprised due to the success of this committee if your telephones didn't start ringing with perhaps some queries from somebody like me about whether you'd be willing to accept a permanent appointment. I think following good process, Aaron, we would probably advertise it to the public again.
Sure. Yep.
But my guess is that the existing committee members who had an interest in going forward, their candidacy would be very favorably entertained.
Erin, I'm sorry, but I can't help but wish you had asked these questions like 2 weeks ago, because as you're saying it, I'm realizing, our plan didn't say anything about the standing committee except have a committee, right? It didn't say how it should be selected and who should be on it. And as you're saying,
I don't know if we have a choice with that.
No, but when I say who should be on it, I don't mean people, of course. I mean, like, boy, it would have been really helpful if a developer, someone with construction, who the ideal candidate would be
Yeah.
X, Y, and Z. And
Mhm.
so one thing I'll say is that, our work is done, but the plan, as we, John has sort of made this point over and over, it's a plan. And then, we check the box. So if we have to decide now, like, did we check a box, or are we, what's going on? And so it seems to me that this committee would want to give the Board of Selectmen a little bit of time to set up the next one. But certainly if we don't see it on the agenda somewhere in the next month or so, we might want to all write to the Board of Selectmen and just remind them about this committee and give our ideas of what expertise we could have used on this committee.
Mhm.
What kinds of, when they're looking for people, what they might, because I can think of a lot of things that would have been helpful where all of us felt like, I don't know, I don't have that knowledge,
Mhm. Yeah, agreed.
I think that the report was very educational. It's just a matter of the speed that it was presented to the public. And I think it's just a matter of people digesting it, and it's a learning process. It was for all of us. I know it was for me. So I think that the report itself was wonderfully done.
If I could just add, I was very heartened by Peggy, First Selectman Lyons's response to some of the questions. There was a woman in the back who seemed sort of irate and like, oh, is this the type of affordable housing we're going to be putting in? And she was very composed and sort of said, no, it's all of the above. It's, you know, we're looking for lots of approaches. And so I was pleased that she really seemed to have understood and sort of internalized the point in the process. So that was a victory, I think.
I think that's very fair. I also think when we went in front of P&Z, I think some of the questions and thoughts were really helpful, and some were written questions, but I thought that was helpful too, and showed that, you know, people are thinking about this. But I agree with you, Andrea. I feel like we started to educate, and then, you know, we had this public forum, but I think we could have a lot more. And I think, you know, 80% of area median income, 30% of that, I think people just, they don't know what, you know, and I feel like we get this question a lot. Is that low income? Is affordable housing low income? And, you know, of course, the income is relevant to affordable. I think people are asking a question there that that needs to be answered. And I think we could answer it with more education. I really do. So I'm hopeful that the next group that takes this over is ready to do that, and also to pair with some, you know, maybe nonprofit developers or others to actually find some places. Because Al, while I appreciate that you said it was a very specific plan, I'm not sure I feel how specific it was, but I feel like there is definitely a specific charge that the next group can pick up very quickly. I will just say, whether you're going to be on the next committee or not, to the extent you talk to your neighbors or you talk to your organizations about having a meeting. I mean, an example is, I'm going to see if my synagogue will do something. I know, like, the First Church sometimes will collect money for something in order to raise awareness for something. They don't have to collect money for affordable housing, but they could say, you know, we're going to give for the trust fund. I'm not trying to tell the First Church what to do, but what I'm saying is, if you're a member of one of these organizations and you want to sit down and talk to people about, you know, talking about affordable housing, the one really big, besides Hope, which is awesome, that's coming in, but the one really big thing we have in Madison, right, is Concord Meadows. And that was just started by faith groups coming together and saying, we're going to donate the seed money. And that was just, if they had not done that, we wouldn't have that little bit. So just a thought of like how we can proceed. The other thing is, I feel like I will contact the source this week and see if they might do an article. At least now that the plan is passed, it would seem nice to do an article on the past plan and you know what it says.
That's a good idea.
Yeah.
I also think, with regard to education, that opportune time is when these projects get proposed and issues come up. That's when people start paying attention, and that might be a good time to refer them to the report and the explanation in the report about affordable housing, because I think that's when people start paying attention to the issue.
I think that's right. I also have thought that Hope, once the Wellington is done, you know, having some things there, and maybe some open houses, or
that's,
you know,
yeah.
letting people see this is what's done. This, you know, like when we walked through in Essex, and I think, I'm not trying to say Hope is the key to everything, but Hope is a nonprofit that built something here. I don't know, Peter, you're on the board there. And so it seems to me that they could do some really because there's education and then they're saying, look behind you, this is Concord Meadows. It hasn't been bothering you. And it's a pretty nice development. Look at what the Wellington is going to look like. You know, I think that makes so much of a difference. And even once some people move in, here are some people who moved into the Wellington. If they're willing to come to a panel, I think that's what's missing a lot of times.
Mhm.
Sir, I would tell you, I think we are planning to have a gala, if you will, our annual event at the Wellington in September. And so what I would guess is that we would have renderings, et cetera. People can see the main house, the red house, I forget the name, and then the 4 units. And that'll probably be open to the public, I'm guessing. So people can come if they want to. I don't think we've gotten that far other than a date, but we are going to have an event there. And so maybe there is a way at some point to tie the two together where people, if they want to know more about it, can come. Not that we'd hold any kind of seminars or anything, but just to talk to people at Hope or that come from the state. I mean, Peggy Lyons will be invited, I'm certain. So that might be helpful. And that's not that far away. We're talking September.
Mm.
That's great. That's a really smart idea that you're having it there. And yeah, I think, you know, there's people who will support that and go and pay, but also if they could have tours or what, you know, whatever they, I think the more people can see, the better off we are. So I think, you know, I guess what I'm trying to say to this committee is whether you stay on a committee or not, I think our job here is to make sure, one, a committee gets formed, and 2, that, you know, we do whatever we can to support that committee from afar or with other organizations. And with that, I really don't have more unless someone has more ideas or thoughts.
I just had
I
one
just
last.
wanted, oh, good. Oh, I just wanted to say thank you to Sarah, especially for leading the committee as a busy attorney and a mother, and staying, kind of helping us stay focused on things and pushing us to kind of look at things more closely. So, and I thought you did a great job at the hearing. So just wanted to recognize that.
Thank you.
I agree.
You're here.
Thank you, Sarah. I agree.
Thank you. Very kind. And, you know, there's a lot of thanks to go out. First of all, thanks to all of you for being on the committee. Thanks to Heather for just stepping up for some stuff that was not supposed to be on her plate. And then to Erin for getting up to speed so quickly. And some thanks go out to Dave Anderson too. And I think to the extent you're on the committee in the future, don't forget about Dave. He's still a Madison citizen, right? So
He's moving.
He is moving.
come on.
Yeah, he's
Yeah.
moving.
Where's he moving to? Now that Guilford?
New
Up to New
Hampshire.
Hampshire. His
New
wife got a
Hampshire.
job at Dartmouth Hitchcock.
Oh, that's both
Wow.
wonderful and awful.
Yeah.
All right, well, so forget about, no, I'm just kidding. Don't forget about Dave. Don't forget about him because he has a lot of knowledge of Madison. And so, and there are a lot of people in Madison who really do want to see some affordable housing happen and have some ideas. And they've been writing to us and might be watching this meeting now. So I think, you know, reaching out to them, and I really am thankful to all of you for, when I saw the April meetings, I thought, wow, from 2021, how long have we been meeting in this group? So I'm hoping that the next group will start building something, quite frankly. You know, we'll start working on identifying all the things we said. So, and with that, I think that's it. I think we can adjourn early, and thanks to all of you.
Okay, thank you. all
everybody.
very much.
Thank you. Have a
Thank
nice
you.
long weekend.
Okay,
Donna.
bye-bye.
Hi all.